What's up, everybody? This is BakaBites. I'm Frankfurter, and that is Magically Average. And today, let's crack open a beer because it's gonna be an episode. Today we are talking about the Crunchyroll Awards that happened over the weekend. It happened Saturday morning at 4 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Pacific, and I stayed up all night to watch it. You took a cat nap and woke up in the middle of the morning to watch it with me. We live streamed it, and it was not a good time. Not necessarily because of the award winners. We kind of predicted that in our predictions episode that it was going to be a popularity contest. Was it disappointing? Sure, but we knew that it was going to be a popular awards, or it was just basically the popular awards. But there's a lot to talk about on just the actual award show itself. So while we do want to dig into that, let's real quick go just through the winners, starting with Best VA Performance in English, all the way up to the top, because it is worth saying who won what, despite, one show pretty much sweeping up the awards, winning 9 out of 13 nominations. So, starting with Best VA Performance in English, we had Ryan Colt Levy for Denji in Chainsaw Man. You and I both thought that it was going to be Johnny Young Bosch for Bleach. However, it was not. This one I'm not mad about. I know I watched a few episodes of the English dub, and I thought it was good. I thought that for the task at hand, because Denji was such a monumental character premiere, that I thought that he did a good job with what he was given.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but yeah, we'll move on to the next category, Best VA Performance in Japanese. This is Yuichi Nakamura for Gojo in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 or Hidden Inventory. We don't fucking know. We'll get
crying?
into that later. We'll get into that later, but he did a good job. This one was a toss-up. We both wanted Bocchi the Rock, but I think we tossed this up between Eren Yeager and Gojo. Well, it was actually, maybe it was Geto and Gojo that we did a toss-up.
We said Eren only because it was the final, the final season, the final chapters special one. So it's not the final. It's just the final half final. But we were still thinking Eren because everyone creams their pants for Eren, even though he was in, I honestly think
he had 2 lines that episode.
I don't think he had.
He did the emergency broadcast to everybody, I feel like, and that was about it.
Was that? No, that was the episode prior. That was the end of season 4.
Was it?
Yes. That was the end.
So much for what I fucking know.
It was because you're thinking, silly Frank, you're thinking of the final season, the final chapters, part 2. This is the final season, the final chapters, special 1, aka part 3. Silly Frank, don't know your specials.
Part 3, subsection 1. Yeah, no. But yeah, Yuichi Nakamura winning the Best VA for Japanese, well deserved. We wanted to see otherwise, but we weren't going to be upset if he won.
No.
So yeah, moving on. Best Romance. This went to Horimiya and the Missing Pieces. I know that my heart and soul was hell-bent on getting Skip and Loafer to win this. You were Yamada-kun at level 999. Neither of us were happy about this.
And my true pick wasn't even there, which was The Dangers in My Heart. That wasn't
season
even
1.
Yeah, season 1. That wasn't even a nomination, which is astounding. I know other content creators had been talking about that because season 2 is getting so much traction right now with viewers, which is great to see since it's also a high dive series. So hooray. But yeah, I kept seeing a lot of people ahead of the awards being like, where's The Dangers in My Heart season 1 in this? Because it should have at least gotten a nod or two, and it's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, hey man, preaching to the choir. But I guess we'll just have to patiently wait until next year because that anime better be scattered for nominations, for music, for cinematography, for VAs, for romance, for slice of life, everything. But yeah. This time around, when we had previewed the list, Horimiya Missing Pieces was something that we had kind of cast aside because we're like, okay, these are the in between chapters that weren't covered in the season. Is it
not
really...
a lot of hype went around it either? I knew people enjoyed it, but nobody was outspoken about it.
Was it because I didn't watch it? Was it just because of the fact that it's like
It's more
closure. But is it closure?
No, we had Horimiya had like the beginning and the ending and a little bit of the middle. This was just purely the middle parts that they did not put in.
That's what I mean.
There's
so like
no closure to it. It's just side stories.
I meant like
it's, as they said, the missing pieces.
But like in terms of the manga, like is it covering pieces like portions of the manga that weren't in the original?
Correct, but it's only in the middle. Like the end of the manga and the beginning are there, but it was just the middle of the manga.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm wondering if it's like closure for the manga readers to be like, okay, I get to finally see this animated. Like I'm getting the satisfaction of finally getting all these different scenes that we've skipped out in the first season animated now, and so I'm like, I can rest easy. I'm wondering if it was that because both of ours were I don't know. I feel like they were both really refreshing for the genre of like slice of life and romance and equally unique in different ways that should alone kind of bump it up. But to me, seeing Horimiya win, I was just like, this has to have been the fan base coming out and kind of having this big sigh of relief, like, okay, finally, it's over. Yes. We get the full story.
A lot of people were upsetty spaghetti after season 1 because there was so much missing. So
that's the only way I can theorize this, because I mean, again, this is not a dig at Horimiya. I know it's beloved by many. It's just having an anime season dedicated to stuff that was just left out, thrown into a season versus an actual cohesive season of an anime that is new. I don't know. I'd kind of pick the latter over the former, but again, I have a working brain, unlike many of the people that voted on this list. So,
well, speaking of working brains and theorizing, you want to theorize how Demon Slayer, the Swordsmith Village arc, won Best Fantasy?
Because it's won it the last 2 years.
This is the last 2 years, 2 years in a row. This show has won Best Fantasy, which makes almost next to no sense.
So I'm gonna mention this now because I feel like it's warranted now, because I'll go off the rails if we keep talking and my blood's gonna start boiling too much and I'm just not gonna shut up. So I'm gonna do it now when my emotions are still tempered. I was looking back at the Crunchyroll Awards since its inception. This has only been around for 8 years. And the categories have grown over the years substantially. When it started in 2017, I believe season 2 of Attack on Titan came out. We didn't even have Demon Slayer yet, and JJK was not a thing yet either, in terms of the anime. Attack on Titan didn't win its first award, I believe, until the 5th Crunchyroll Awards for season 3, which well-deserved. My favorite seasons of Attack on Titan. Wonderful. Demon Slayer won in its first year, I believe, for Anime of the Year.
2020, the 4th Crunchyroll Awards.
And JJK did the same as well for the 5th.
Correct.
They won Anime of the Year for the 5th, okay? So keep this in mind, all right? Keep this in mind. It was not until the 4th for Demon Slayer and the 5th for JJK and Attack on Titan where they actually won awards. Do you want to know how many nominations those 3 anime have gotten since that time, since the 4th and 5th?
Unfortunately, I'm on the Wikipedia.
Yeah,
so
read them off. Start with the lowest of the 3 and get to the highest.
Well, they're the top 3 nominated the fucking series of all time. So Demon Slayer comes in at 3 at 40 nominations. It has 17 wins. And coming in at a tie at a staggering 44 nominations is both Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan, again with 44. Now, Attack on Titan has 15 wins total, tied with My Hero Academia, which was notably absent from this year's awards.
Yep.
Honestly, it probably had one of its best seasons ever, and it was absent.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, in general, I think season 6 was one of its best seasons it's ever had.
The seasons are getting lost on me, but whatever season had Stain in it, me likey.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. And then Jujutsu Kaisen, 44 nominations, 21 wins. Which,
okay. So,
yes.
So keep that in mind. Demon Slayer, 4th. The 4th Crunchyroll Awards is when it was first able to get out there. That was when season 1 was eligible. Okay, it was the 4th. JJK and Attack on Titan, 5th is when they won their first ones. Mind you, Attack on Titan had come out sooner. It just was not nominated, or it was nominated but had not won until the 5th. Okay, so we're talking 3 more award ceremonies after this, just a skyrocket into the air of nominations. So you cannot sit, no one out there can sit there and tell me that this isn't an award for the jabronis and the girldonies. There's not a girl equivalent, so we're gonna call them girldonies now. Okay, too bad. That's the word I came up with. Okay, there's no way you can convince me that these awards are not just fucking mouth breathers, just that are on Twitter all the time, liking every single fucking half brain, half wit post out there and just spamming JJK, AOT, and Demon Slayer over and over. No thoughts, no actual analysis of seasons, no real in-depth analysis of the anime and them and what they actually offered for that season, the story, the plot, the character development, anything. It's just JJK goated, Demon Slayer, bro, that shit looked pretty, and AOT, best of all time, the GOAT.
The plot twist. Can you imagine how did he think of these plot twists? Because he made it.
You're gonna make me go off.
No. It's we've got a lot to talk about.
No,
buddy.
I know. I wanted to bring it up now because you made the joke about Demon Slayer winning fantasy again for the 3rd year in a row, and my 2nd year in a row. But they've won it 3 times, haven't they?
No. I just looked it up. They've only won it twice. They've won it 2 years in a row. But the year before was...
Mushoku Tensei kept getting snubbed.
This is the 2nd time Mushoku Tensei got snubbed. The year before was reincarnated as a slime.
Okay.
The 5th year was, I believe... what was it? ReZero. And then I don't know if it was... Oh, and then Promised Neverland was the year before. And that was the 1st year for the category.
Okay. There you go. So see, perfect. Those made sense.
But yeah, Demon Slayer, it's weird because that period of time that it takes place in, they actually believed in demons. If anything, it's more of a historical than a fantasy, which is really odd in my opinion. But
that's the frustrating part about the fantasy one too for Demon Slayer winning is that it is historically accurate to the time period of Japan. At no point do they mention another world they're in, or a different dimension, or another version of Earth.
This is breathing jutsu. They bring water out of swords.
You know what? Fuck me. You got me. Can't explain that.
We'll move on. We'll move on because we've got a lot to talk about, buddy.
Okay. Fine.
Best drama, unfortunately, here we go again. Attack on Titan, the final season, the final part, chapter 1, whatever the fuck. I don't know. Vinland Saga really deserved this one by hands down.
Do you want me to save most of my big comments for the end? Because I'll hold my tongue. All right, keep going.
Hold your tongue.
There's a lot. Okay.
But yeah, you know our thoughts about Attack on Titan. So, best comedy, we have Spy Family season 1, part 2, which is. This one was probably the most egregious in my part, in my book.
I wouldn't say
egregious, second most egregious.
No, there's many others. There's many others.
But yeah, moving on. Best action, we have Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, which we'll talk about again later on. Must protect at all costs character, we have Anya Forger from Spy Family. That one we predicted correctly. Best supporting character, Satoru Gojo, again from Jujutsu Kaisen. That makes no sense because he was the main character of that arc, but who cares? Whatever, we're moving on. Best main character, I think this was the first one. We both threw our hands up in the air and we're like, finally, something different. Yeah. We got Monkey D. fucking Luffy as best character, and you can thank Gear 5 for that shit. Thank God.
I was gonna say if it wasn't for Gear 5, it would have been Aaron again for
If we had another fucking Aaron goddamn Yeager, I would have just got we wanted to shut this stream off so many different times and we didn't. Best director. Now this is the one in my opinion is the biggest snub of the entire of the awards. Best director. As much as I enjoyed his little giddy dance up to the microphone, was Shota Goshozono. Sorry, I had to really slow that down. Shota Goshizono. For Jujutsu Kaisen, Hidden Inventory, or Season 2, we don't fucking know. This one is the biggest snub in my opinion. It definitely should have gone to the director for Bocchi the Rock. That series did a lot with just a little bit. What made that show special was not anywhere in the source material. Only the main plot points, if you will, were in the source material. All the little side stuff, the side tangents, most of that is not in the books. They did so much with so little that it to me, that was the biggest snub of the year. But again, this is the popular awards. Big title, big win. Yeah. That's all it is. Next, we have Best Anime Song. We have Idol from Oshinoko. This was a great song. I'm not mad at this one. This was good. Best Film, we both predicted this one. It was going to be Suzume. It was only ever going to be Suzume. There was no chance in hell that Blue Giant or the first Slam Dunk was ever going to win. Moving on, we have the best score, which this went to Attack on Titan, which we don't need to talk about that any further because there was rarely any score in it. It was just... anyways. Best ending sequence, we had Jujutsu Kaisen, Hidden Inventory, again, and spoiler alert, they also won the best opening sequence. This didn't go to the Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the Shibuya incident where it's
You are my special.
You are my special.
I actually like that, though.
It's a good song, but that's not the one that won because it wasn't nominated.
I don't know the lyrics, but yeah, it's that one.
Yeah, that's the tune. But
it's just Gojo and Geto flying around on different
and maybe
cursed
maybe
spirits.
finger banging behind the scenes. Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyways, best continuing series, we have One Piece. This one I think took us aback. We definitely thought other shows were gonna win this because it was, again, this is the popular awards. You had Demon Slayer up, you had Jujutsu Kaisen up, you had Spy Family, you had Attack on Titan, you had Vinland Saga, which I would have wished won, but I'm happy One Piece won.
I feel like One Piece was only nominated in those two and won, or maybe the voice actor for Luffy might have been up for best.
Oh. Yeah. I think you're right on that one.
I think One Piece went 2 for 3, so it's not shocking that they won that too. Because I mean, it's One Piece.
Yeah,
it also deserves it.
And One Piece had their Gear 5 moment last year.
Yeah, I mean,
it was phenomenal. It was literally a worldwide event. Like everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, this is a good win.
People were comparing it to when Goku went Super Saiyan
something.
Yeah.
No, it was a cultural moment for all anime fans. So that one I'm very pleased about. Another one where we both kind of put our hands up in the air and we're like,
look at that. Shocker.
Next up we have Best Slice of Life. This one went to Bocchi the Rock, which you and I, this was the only nomination that Bocchi had that I feel like we both voted against. I think you voted for My Love Story with Yamada-kun at 999, and I voted for Skip and Loafer.
Yeah. I mean,
but Bocchi ended up winning.
But we're not upset, really.
No, by no means am I upset about this one. It's just kind of odd.
We felt that, I think our sentiment was Bocchi the Rock was, albeit a slice of life at the end of the day, it more deserved best comedy, best score, best director. We had it winning so many different things. We're do we really like it for it being a slice of life, or do we like it for all these other things? And I think we liked it for everything else other than it being just a regular slice of life. Meanwhile, I loved Yamada-kun because it was just that. It was a very laid back slice of life that captures the everyday goings of a college girl trying to fit in with a gamer crew and being super awkward about it. Love that. Skip and Loafer for you was the same. It was a girl who is socially awkward to some degree growing up in a small town, somehow
having big dreams and just I'm going to accomplish them no matter what.
Somehow
hell or high water, it's going to happen.
Somehow grabs the attention of a golden retriever airhead boy, and then all sorts of fun ensues. So it's like those fit the bill more versus Bocchi the Rock, which had like heavy music, bass, heavy like just straight up comedy that came out of nowhere. So I think that was kind of our thought process. But again, we are after watching the whole thing, I ain't gonna be mad about it.
We'll take that win.
Yeah, we'll take any wins we can get.
After that, we had Best Art Direction. As you can probably guess, this went to Demon Slayer because pretty colors across the screen. Wow. Go for it.
No, it's fine. Keep going.
Okay. Best Cinematography, we had Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Again, we'll talk more about fucking that. Best New Series, we had Chainsaw Man as the winner. This one, it was a toss-up, honestly. I thought that Chainsaw Man was definitely the heavy favorite, but like it could have gone to Oshinoko, it could have gone to Bocchi the Rock. Not enough people watched Heavenly Delusion. Hell's Paradise didn't make, I feel like, as much of an impact on most as it did to like say you and a few others.
Just me in a small group just cheering.
Yeah, like y'all were the loud minority of like, yeah, Hell's Paradise, woo!
It was so
This
good.
one was honestly just a toss-up, but Chainsaw Man definitely was the heavy favorite here.
Yeah, again, another one where I'm not going to be mad. It's one of the few categories where I don't think I'll ever be mad because it's just all new series that we're watching for the most part. So, because I basically watched all but one of them, I think.
Chainsaw Man, Hell's Paradise, Heavenly Delusion, Zom 100, Bocchi the Rock, and Oshinoko. So you didn't watch Heavenly Delusion.
Yeah, I didn't watch all the way through Oshinoko, so I missed two. But again, it's a category where predominantly we're going to be watching most of them all the time. So
yeah, I watched all 6 of them, and Bocchi the Rock was my vote, but Chainsaw Man is a damn good choice.
Yeah.
So none of those series by any means were bad. They were honestly all phenomenal. Like it was a toss-up. But moving to the next category, we had Best Animation, and as you can guess, Demon Slayer, because pretty colors across the screen. Wow. And then we got the final 3 categories. We have Best Character Design. This went to Jujutsu Kaisen. Hidden Inventory Season 2. Who the fuck knows? We don't. It won its 9th award with that one, 8th award there. And then we had Best Original Anime. Spoiler alert. Best Original Anime, which isn't Jujutsu Kaisen. This went to Buddy Daddies, which this one I was happy about. I watched 4 out of the I watched enough of 5 out of the 6 of these. I didn't watch any of the marginal service, and Buddy Daddies was the clear choice, but a part of me would have loved to see Akiba Maid War win this one because of how ridiculous and fantastic that show was.
I know.
But Best Original Anime again went to Buddy Daddies, well deserved. And then we have Anime of the Year and the 9th win for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 / Hidden Inventory. Those are your winners this year. There's a lot of discussion and kind of controversy around this because of Crunchyroll stipulations as to who can be nominated. And those nominations clearly stated anything that started or that was fall 2022, so that was October 2022, all the way up to September 2023. Now, yes, Jujutsu Kaisen did start in August, July, something like that.
Yeah, I think.
With Hidden Inventory. So Hidden Inventory, if you go through the list, you will see that Hidden Inventory is nominated. It has its poster for a handful of different categories. However, you had the first 2 or 3 episodes of the Shibuya incident for Season 2 proper air before October 2023. That was in September.
Which, to set the stage...
I will just let you handle it from here on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, to set the stage, the first 2 to 3 episodes of the Shibuya incident really didn't cover much.
Yeah.
It was really just them planning out an attack. They fought 2 random sorcerers, and then they met the 3rd sorcerer. I'm not going to spoil a lot, but that was basically it. No. That was it.
The schools were trying to find the rat, and the rat being one of the students. And it was them trying to mad scramble to find the student.
Oh my God, you're so right. Holy shit. I completely forgot. The first 2 to 3 episodes was Mechamaru.
Yeah,
Holy
they were
shit.
trying to figure out who the rat was, and it was Mechamaru.
I was thinking
No.
my brain's
you're
like 6
further
episodes
ahead.
in.
You're further ahead.
Oh my, that makes me more mad. All right.
Which, to be fair, that Mechamaru mech fight was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
But,
they showed scenes of it compared to like other anime, like famous anime, and how they did certain fighting sequences, and it was really cool to see the comparisons and how they drew a lot of influence from those. So yeah, definitely like huge props. That was a heck of a battle scene, especially like mech style stuff. Sweet.
who thought we were gonna get mech in a Jujutsu Kaisen type show?
That whole thing just makes me more mad now. But continue.
But yeah, so this is where you and I think were the most frustrated in both the voting stages and the award stages, in which there was no consistency. Crunchyroll didn't outright come out and say, hey, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the entirety of it is going to be nominated because the season did start in September. We're just going to lump the rest of it in. They have, to this day, to this recording, still left us hanging. We don't know if Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, which is won the Anime of the Year, the best cinematography, and
7
best
others.
action.
7 others.
Those three specifically have won for Season 2, not the hidden inventory, which the rest of the wins for Jujutsu Kaisen won for. Those 3 are for Season 2, which, as we just said, first 2 or 3 episodes of Shibuya Incident, which was just Mechamaru. We don't know if Season 2 proper, the rest of it, will be up for nomination or not next year. Because the way that they had made their cutoff was it was black and white. September was the cutoff. Anything after September will be next year. So for them to include Season 2, are they including the whole thing, or are they just including the Shibuya, or the first 2 or 3 episodes of the Shibuya Incident and the hidden inventory? For them to not get clarification is just awful. It's awful. It's lazy. It's not good. It deserves criticism. And if next year comes around, the Crunchyroll Awards, they put out their nominations and they're like, all right, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 is up for nomination. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to participate. We're not going to give this any coverage. Because this is just plain lazy marketing. They are not transparent. They're just kind of bending the rules for one show. And it's frustrating because why not just, Attack on Titan's final season, final specials part 2, I think happened late October, early November. Mm-hmm. Why not just give, the final season, final parts, both of them, just one whole category or one whole, nomination, and just be like, well, part 1 did come out. Like, if you're going to bend the rules for Jujutsu Kaisen, bend the rules for Attack on Titan so we never have to see it again. So I know you have a lot to say, so I'll let you say it, and then we can talk about the awards proper, because there's a lot of criticism I have with that as well.
Yeah, when we say awards proper, I mean like the actual production of
the show itself.
Yeah. So a couple things, because I can already fucking hear and smell the comments that are going to be made, which is, you guys are getting worked up over anime awards? That's pathetic. Well, that's embarrassing. Anime awards? Jesus. Think about it this way. The anime awards, I put in line with like the video game awards, right? In that there's really, I know there's like one other, I believe there's one other like produced video game award that you can watch. Yeah, I want to say
there's the Game Awards, there's the DICE Awards, and then I don't think they have streams for any of the other award shows.
Like,
but
just
Video
like
Game
how...
Awards is fans and the industry, and then the DICE Awards are just strictly industry.
Right. And so, like, I equate the Anime Awards to that, in that we don't have the luxury of getting a multitude of award shows, and we don't have a lot of outlets that give accolades to anime like we have in other media, like, TV and movies, at least here in the United States. Like we have the Emmys, we've got the Golden Globes, we've got the fucking what is it? There's another big award show that I'm forgetting. There's a ton.
The
I feel
Emmys,
like
Golden Globes, the Academy Awards,
the Academy
the
Awards.
Grammys.
Yeah,
We have
well,
the
the Grammys is
Tonys.
music. The Tonys is for play. Yeah, but like basically every single type of media has one, at least a benchmark of one award that recognizes and promotes the whatever they're covering. So in this case, anime that truly captured the hearts and minds of all of its viewers during a particular time frame. Okay. For us, the only thing that we have are the Crunchyroll Awards. And you might be saying, well, there's other awards online. And it's like, yeah, sure. Okay. You have the Reddit ones. You have Anime Corner. You have like, I think
Trends,
Anime Trends, Daily Anime has their own too. Like there's a ton that just do these little like fan voted ones. And that's great. I love seeing those because it also shows like how everyone's different. Everyone's preferences are different. I mean, Anime Corner had 100% fan voted. The anime of the year for theirs was Bungo Stray Dogs. And it's like, that's an anime I heard.
Think it was nominated here.
No, it was. No one even sneezed at it for the Crunchyroll Awards. But again,
great show, by the way. Highly suggested.
Yeah, nothing against it. But that just goes to show you that there's plenty of differing opinions, and it's all great. The issue, though, that is now becoming the Crunchyroll Awards is that it is just becoming an award show that is based around the loudest person in the room. And what I mean by that is if you get a group of people that can scream their lungs out to the top of the building, just yell as loud as they fucking humanly possibly can until they get their way, that's the type of voting that goes on for the Anime Awards. There's no thought process going into who truly deserves an award. There's no analysis like comparing all of the different nominees that are being nominated for an award. There's not even truly, again, I believe this to my heart's content, there's not even truly any like my majority of people voting that have watched, I'm going to predict, more than 5% of the shows that are even nominated. Okay.
Hell, I'll give it more than 10 shows.
More than 10 shows total? Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Nominated too, I mean. Not just the ones that went nominated. Like, I'm talking they watch maybe like 4 to 5 a year, okay, outside of the big ones. All right? Why is it that those people, the ones that have the strongest opinion and the loudest mouths, always seem to find a way to get their voices heard? And they stifle out the people that have, like, again, I don't care if this is sounding pretentious or egotistical or what, but it deafens out the people that spend time watching, appreciating, like just fully thinking through, providing truthful feedback on an anime. You want those folks to be voting and having the strongest opinions, but no. The ones that make their way through and the ones that lead the charge are the ones that could mouth breathe a fucking SUV into their skull because God knows there's no brain up there. Those are the ones that get across the most. Those are the ones that somehow reach the peak every single year for the past 3 years.
You mean they reach the peak?
Yeah, they just reach the peak. And this can be proven too. This can be proven through the past Crunchyroll Awards. And I saw your message. I can't read it because of the way the stream goes.
So Demon Slayer was introduced in the 4th annual Crunchyroll Awards. The 3 seasons before that, the 3rd year was Devilman Crybaby, which a lot of people loved. It was a very artsy show.
Yeah,
it was a lot of people loved it.
It was like a French avant-garde. Yeah,
you and I were on the other spectrum. We didn't like it, but a lot of people loved that show. But again, it wasn't one of the bigger shows.
Yeah.
The year before that, Made in Abyss. Made in Abyss was a phenomenal show. It is still in my top 5. That show, that series in general, is fantastic. But the first annual Crunchyroll Awards, the winner was Yuri on Ice. And even looking at what it went against, you're like, oh well, no real like shonen shows were out that year. It went up. It went up
2017,
against
people. 2017, not that long ago.
2017. It went up against Descending Stories. I don't know what the fuck that is, but sure. Erased. I don't know what. I honestly don't know what that show is, so I'm not even gonna make fun of it. Erased, which was a good show. Joker Game. Never heard of it. Kabanari of the Iron Fortress. Now this is the people that made. This is done by Wit Studios. This was also done by some of the people who created Attack on Titan. This is legitimately Attack on this. If you've seen the Train to Busan, where it's like an ice world with zombies on the outside, minus the ice world, that's this show. It was a fantastic show. Did not win. You had Mob Psycho 100 Season 1. Season 1 is fucking goated. Season 2 is even more goated, but Season 1, phenomenal. And then you had Season 1 of My Hero Academia, which is a fantastic season, albeit a little slow. A fantastic season and one of the best introductions to a new series. And then the last nominee for the very first Crunchyroll Awards was, and I just rewatched this and I grew more appreciation for this show. It was ReZero Starting Life in Another World.
Oh my god, so there were 8 nominees?
There were 8 nominees.
Ooh. What a list.
In Yuri on Ice was the one that won it. So the first 3 years you had legitimately like shows that went up against shonen and came out on the other end. Like even Made in Abyss, it went up against My Hero Academia Season 2. And Land of the Lustrous, March Comes In Like a Lion.
Oh,
like it went up against great shows, but Made in Abyss was phenomenal. And then Devilman Crybaby, it beat out A Place Further Than the Universe, which is, if you have not watched, if you like slice of life, if you enjoy it at all, at any bit like slice of life, you need to go watch A Place Further Than the Universe. It is one of the best slice of lifes out there. It went up against that. It went up against Hinamatsuri, Megalobox, which is a fantastic boxing anime, Violet Evergarden, which is a goddamn masterpiece, and then also Zombieland Saga, which is still to this day one of the funniest comedies in anime. It is a fantastic show. Like you had all these different like great shows, but they were still losing out, or like they were still beating the shonen. And then you have Demon Slayer, which Ufotable came in and just was like, we're gonna drop some fucking gorgeousness on you, and it's just gonna beat out Carol and Tuesday, Mob Psycho 100 Season 2, which holy fucking shit, one of the best seasons of anime ever. Oh Maidens of Your in Your Savage Season, I have not watched that one. The Promised Neverland, which is
Season 1.
a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Season 1 of Promised Neverland, 10 out of 10. Season 2 never happened. And then you also had another 10 out of 10 in Vinland Saga Season 1.
Yeah.
Like, so this is where you started with the shonen, and like all the people were like, oh, anime is beautiful. It's not just for, like, I don't know.
No. I'm actually going to go even further. Okay. So that was the Demon Slayer won the 4th. 5th was JJK. 5th was
6th
also
was AOT. Final Season Part 1.
Yep.
And last year was a fucking anomaly, and I'm happy about it. It was Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which beat out Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Ranking of Kings, Spy Family, and Licorice Recoil.
Yeah. Up until the 5th Anime Awards, there was, and you can go back and look, it is true, there was a very diverse range of anime that were being nominated and also winning categories. Okay? I think the most any one anime won in an award session, it might, up until that point, it might have been Yuri on Ice, because I think Yuri on Ice won 3, if not 4, for the first Crunchyroll Anime Awards for like character, song, and one other category.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it won all 7. It has 7 wins total, and it all happened the first year.
Jesus. Well, look at that. It won a lot first year, okay? Sure. Up until that point, though, up until the 6th, you did have a wide range of anime being nominated and winning categories, which is what it's meant to be. It's not... the Anime Awards are supposed to acknowledge all the anime that came out in the season that rightfully deserve to be they received the accolades and promoted for what it offered to the anime community during that year. Okay, if an anime deserves to just fucking flat out win everything, cool, prove it to me. Prove it to me, show me. Like, if I need to watch it, I'll go watch it, and then I will give you my opinion. That's my take. Most of the time is, if you want to prove something to me, I'll go watch it. Like Devilman Crybaby, I wasn't a big fan. Really wasn't. I didn't think the story was good.
But we both understand why it won.
Yeah, no, can absolutely appreciate it as well. I mean, for what it did as an anime in terms of like animation style, it was really, really, really weird, and I liked it.
It was like a Jesus Christ! It was the Yatsuri. I can't remember the name of the fucking show. The one that got rebooted. It was the old show that got rebooted on
Urasei Yatsura.
Yeah, it was basically that. It took an 80s manga that had a 90s adaptation of Devilman and just made it new. It breath of fresh air into the series.
Yeah. So we can see how that one. I can absolutely see how Yuri on Ice won. I can absolutely see how Made in Abyss won. I can absolutely see how most of these won. Like, especially like Demon Slayer. Yeah, the first season of JJK, sure. AOT season 4, not so much. But again, personal opinion. No. Personal opinion. You know, there it is. The issues that we're having right now, and it is more clear than ever, I think, and this is maybe where the frustration's coming from, is that, to what you were saying at the beginning with the fact that Crunchyroll has not made an announcement, the fact that Jujutsu Kaisen, which again was only supposed to be nominated for the hidden inventory arc plus the first 2 to 3 episodes of Shibuya, which we've determined to only really be Mekamaru.
Yeah.
No one can approach me and say, out of all of the anime, I've watched every anime that came out that year, this is the best in all of the categories as one. No one can objectively or even subjectively tell me that and have me believe them, because I too watched JJK Hidden Inventory and all of Shibuya. Okay? Yeah. I also watched a number of anime that were up for awards, some snubbed as well. Looking at you, Dangers in My Heart. And I can definitively tell you that JJK should have only won 2. I'll give it 2.
I think it should have won Best Cinematography. I think what they did, like, if we're including all of season 2, if we are including all of season 2,
no, we're not. We're not. No, I'm saying the eligible episodes that were up for nomination, which are Hidden Inventory and the first 2 to 3. No, I'll give it 2. I love that opening song. That opening song is a bop.
Sure.
Opening sequence.
Best VA as well.
And sure, we'll give it to Best VA. I do think Bocchi's VA does deserve it, because not even the vocal range, the fucking pipes you have to do some of the things that she did was astonishing. It also, it's a rarity to find a voice actor as well. And I find this to be the case more often with Japanese voice actors than English. And I don't know why. Japanese voice actors seem to bring out a lot more of the character in just their voice acting. She went way above and beyond. Like the scenes of her like having just social, like mental breakdowns in a social environment versus the one where she's alone and just cuckoo bananas. Like the spectrum of emotions that she brought out in this one character is incredible. That alone would have deserved it. But yes,
I'm just thinking of just the scene at the very end of like episode 5 or 4
where she just looks at her ceiling.
She's looking at the ceiling with all the pictures and just and the just most immediate cut mid laugh to just fucking credits.
The most awkward of laughs ever.
It fucking kills me.
Yeah, no, I mean that should have won it. But sure, let's do VA and let's do we'll do the opening song. Okay, we'll do song.
Sure,
that's fine.
Character design?
No.
Anime of the year?
Well, I mean,
cinematography for what episodes that should be nominated?
Well, okay.
As impressive as the Mekamaru fight is,
But okay, but now let's go through because I'm done talking about JJK. JJK didn't deserve to win everything. It did not. It was only eligible for hidden inventory in the first 2 episodes of the Shibuya incident. Again, I loved hidden inventory. I loved the fact that we got to go back and actually get a deeper dive into Gojo's time as a student at Jujutsu High and go through the whole relationship with him and Geto and actually meet Toji. Like, fuck, that dude was a badass and I loved him. And I'm also all the way caught up in the manga now because I can't wait for the next season. So I read through like 120 chapters in like the span of 5 days. I fucking flew through that.
It's all sitting in the corner over there for me. I have not.
Also, I have another tattoo idea already in the banks because goddamn, I love it. A character that's coming up that we get to meet.
Oh boy.
Anyway, that aside, the other frustrating piece to this is that no one who is voting as a fan, shouldn't say no one, majority. We'll keep saying majority, minority. A majority of the people that are voting as fans, again, gonna be confident in this statement, they don't read what the categories mean, right?
Right.
I'll give you an example. Art direction and animation were won by the same anime, Demon Slayer. Art direction has very little to do with animation. Art direction is about how you are pushing the boundaries of the actual style of your anime. What are you doing to truly captivate an audience through art, not your actual animation? I'm thinking Zom 100. That shit was beautiful for how grotesque and dismal the setting is. It's a zombie apocalypse, but somehow every fucking character is shooting rainbows out their ass. How's that possible? That's fun. I also love the art direction for Hell's Paradise. This is some of the most beautiful scenery I've seen, consistent too. Like, basically after episode 2, you had gorgeous environments of completely different diversity, like the diversity of the environments and the settings that they were in was drastic, all of which looked astonishing. That type of art is what they're meaning when they say art direction. Animation is how pretty it looks. Oh, the flashing colors, it's so fluid. Everything looks so bright and shiny. That's animation. So yeah, Demon Slayer, whatever. It's ufotable. All their shit looks nice. Watch a Fate series. They do all that same shit too there, okay? It's that level of like naivety and just ignorance to what the actual categories mean is what's so frustrating as someone who truly appreciates like anime as a whole, all right? We have acknowledged time and time again that we are the minority group. We understand that we watch significantly more anime than most people do. Most anime fans that call themselves anime fans, we understand we watch more than most people, okay? We're not on the level of like Garnt in Trash Taste or some of the other like people that do this for a living, right? That like
Eye Patch Wolf or
like we also know
Basement, etc.
We know many other people that watch more than us even, but they are able to do this for a living for the most part. Okay, we watch as much as we can, and that's still a shit ton more than most other anime fans. We get that. The fact though that the majority piece that watches less has the louder voice coming out than those who actually have watched the whole gambit of shows that come out in a nominated season, we'll say, because it's a year is kind of inaccurate given the time frame that is now being captured by Crunchyroll. It's frustrating. I think this goes to my final point of my rant so far, which is Crunchyroll needs to restructure its voting shit.
Yeah.
It needs to go down to you vote once and that's it, not this everyday spam your votes again.
Make 50 accounts and log in with all of them. And
it needs to be fan votes. You vote once. And here's my even bigger take. And I already talked to you about this, and we told the people that were watching our live stream this too. But here's my big change that I think would actually bring a significant total flip to how the awards are produced. Fans vote not on who they want to win, but on who they want nominated.
Yeah.
Every fan gets 20 anime per category. You get to vote on your top 3 for each. And then they take the aggregate, and here's your 7, 6, 7, 8 nominees for each category. And you know who votes for those? The fucking industry. And I'm not talking shitty IGN writers and random ass people that are like, their boss slaps an assignment down and goes, watch an anime or 2 and write an article about this. Also, we got to vote for some shit and put your votes in. I don't care. Right? Not talking about you assholes. I'm talking people in the industry. I'm talking actual studios. I'm talking beat writers for anime that do reviews. I'm talking magazine writers. I'm talking everyone that's actually involved in anime as an industry. You are the people that have the stronger vote because you actually acknowledge and appreciate the anime that's coming out, not fucking dickhead titfuck 2000 on Twitter who's got 1 million followers and just fucking screams vote JJK every day for the next 10 days. We're taking this to the finish line, boys. Okay? Yeah. That does not represent who's truly deserving of these awards. I'm done. I'm also tired. I need a drink.
Well, you sit back for a bit. You take a sip of your drink, your pop, as you call it. And yeah,
I'm from the Midwest. It's called pop.
Fair enough. I'm poking fun. Now, I know that we've kind of, this has been a long-winded podcast. This has been a lot of us ranting about just how kind of messed up the situation is with Crunchyroll and how it's just a popularity contest. And it really is, and it has been for the past few years. However, the thing that I take the most pain away from, and honestly, it made me upset in the sense of just the next day, because I didn't get that much sleep, and that's not necessarily a choice on my part, or it was a choice on my part, but also I have dogs and they're like, hey, it's 10 a.m., you better wake the fuck up. However, the thing that I feel like got me the most and what put me down more than just the awards themselves was the actual ceremony, we'll call it, if you like can even call it a ceremony.
The production.
The production of it all.
Yeah.
Now, there's a handful of things. There's heavy speculation on our side because of everything that we heard and watched. But there's a few points I want to go over. First and foremost, the thing that bugged me the absolute most, and I didn't like it, and I don't think it was rehearsed at all with anybody, let alone even announced to the studios and whoever was in charge. The winners of the awards. You can tell from the first few awards that were actually... Okay, so we'll back up. Before the awards, we had the pre-show, which the pre-show was just like the fucking Grammys and Academy Awards, where they're giving out awards left and fucking right before the show even actually starts. So you had all the like best comedy, best action, best original anime. You had some of these major awards come out during a pre-show where it was just very awkward and kind of slapdash put together. I felt like I know that those people are very hardworking. I am not dogging on you. It was just awkward.
Well,
it was. I'm sorry. It's how it was. However, handing out like you were doing an award show.
Yeah.
And you're taking a book out of actual Hollywood, which we all know, and even the people who are in Hollywood know, are ass. Those awards are dog shit. There's a reason why ratings keep going down, down, down. People don't like them because they just hand out awards willy-nilly in the pre-shows, and then they're like, cool, we're in the actual award shows. We're going to make a spectacle. We're going to bring on celebrity A, music guest B, D-tiered Bob show, and just like throw them on stage, have them do a few jokes, make them do a performance. That's like, sure, fine, you can have some of that. But like to make that the main point of the show and then just do like a little bit of like awards on the side is very frustrating. So you had an award show which they handed out, I believe, half, if not more than half of the awards before the shows even quote unquote started. That was frustrating to begin with. But then you get to the actual award show and you start handing out awards and you call people up on stage and they are not expecting to go up on stage and make a fucking speech. You are telling these people, hey, you come to this award show, if you win, you need to go on stage. Nobody warned anybody about it. And you could tell.
Basically what I just did is what happened to the people that won.
They literally stood up, they waved their hand, they took a bow, they said thank you at their seat, and that was it. They did not know that they had to get up on stage and make a goddamn speech. These people are very, like, in cultural wise, Japanese people are much, much, much more humble than Americans, let alone most Western audiences and even European audiences. They are very humble people. They are very reserved people. They don't like expressing,
They don't like being center of attention.
Exactly.
They have the spotlight.
I was struggling there. They don't like being the center of attention. So for you to just, without warning, spring upon them to say, hey, get up on stage and make like a speech.
That was my favorite part of the first, like when they finally got to the actual award ceremony, when the first award was given out. Yeah, my dude stood up, waved, took a bow, said thank you.
Even the second guy. Guy did the same exact thing.
No, but it was legit 20 to 30 seconds of this until some poor bastard had to run out, headset on, clipboard in hand, sprint through the tables and be like, go, 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 go. And he's like,
yeah,
me? Oh, God, okay. And like kind of goes up there and is like, okay, thank you. Couldn't have imagined this. We at the studio are appreciative. Thank you.
So
Goodbye.
Humbled and honored and whatever. It honestly, it pissed me off you have an award show and you don't even warn the attendees who could potentially win that they need to get up on stage. To have the common decency to give them the fucking heads up, it boils my blood because our cultures are so different. This is not Hollywood. This is not fucking Hollywood.
And this took place in Tokyo. Like it was in Japan. Like it's not like it's a production in
boils my blood.
Because like hurts. Because Crunchyroll is, I think now, because it was acquired by Funimation, and Funimation I think is based in Texas. I want to say.
Yes, Funimation is based in Texas, but its parent company is Sony. Sony is a Japanese
so it's not like they flew everyone out to Texas and had the awards in Texas. Like it's in Japan.
A handful of people that they flew out. They had the people who work for Crunchyroll. They had a few celebrities who are a fan of anime present and do whatever.
Megan Thee Stallion.
I know. Oh boy, I'm sure that audience was just like, "Holy shit, this is an American."
Real hot girl shit.
It boils my blood that you pretend to make this an American award show and not give them the common decency to tell them, hey, if you win, please make a small speech. It boils my blood that you don't take cultural differences into account. That is strike 1 through 10 for me because it was.
I need to go to bed soon. We don't have enough for 10. Let's do 3.
Well, no, that was 1 through 10. That was
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but the two other things that I really want to discuss that really just kind of were basically the Crunchyroll Awards aren't what they used to be. Because they were in Japan, they had Japanese speakers, which is perfectly fine. It's, it is what it is. They had to have live translations. Now, this is heavy speculation on our part, but the week of the awards, right before, like a few days before, Crunchyroll came out and said that they are going to toy with the idea of AI-generated subtitles. Now, nobody, including myself, ever would have thought that they would have done live subtitles.
Oh, this is so bold.
Listening to all of the translations, it sounded AI as hell. Now, in the credits, there was no mention of an AI company. There was no mention of AI voices or whatever. It listed out voice actors' names, or actual translator names, quote unquote.
Yeah.
However, if you go back and listen to the fucking tapes, you cannot convince me that that is not an AI voice for the man who is a surfer bro trapped in somebody's basement. I don't know how the fuck you came up with that voice. Dude was just like shitting his pants in a basement, but also just a surfer bro. It made no sense. And then for a young Japanese woman, you had her translator or AI translator be an old fucking grandma. It literally sounded like Betty White was talking to me from the grave.
It's the voices.
And it sounded robotic as well. It sounded so compressed. It sounded awful. Like there's no actual evidence that it was AI, but it sounded from everywhere, from the actual sound of the speech to the sentence structure to just the voice.
Yeah.
Everything about it sounded like AI. I was just astounded. I was dumbfounded.
There's a lot of signs that do point to it too, outside of just the voices, because I mean the voices alone were really weird, and it's not that they that they like misaged or use like really weird like filter voices or something. It's legit like our main host guy was his voice was like, hello and welcome to like there were weird like
to the Crunchyroll Awards.
There was a couple of times where there was like a weird like it was trying to capture like his breath or pause and just went like it I'm not kidding. That's why I was like, dude, my bro's trapped in the basement and someone's telling him to put the lotion in the basket. Like
puts the lotion on the skin or gets the hose.
Like this dude's in trouble. We need to go find this guy.
It was awful.
But it was also the timing. Like at times the translation was like
before they even started speaking,
7 to 10 seconds ahead, and then at other times it was like 3 to 5 seconds behind. So there was no consistent like time in which it was being translated. Like sometimes dudes were walking off stage and then like the end of the speech was happening, and then sometimes the translation ended like, and then like 30 seconds go by and you're just like, what are they saying? And then they end and you're like, oh, okay, so we just heard the end of the speech like a half a minute ago. Like there were a lot of weirdness. There was also one part where one of the presenters for an award came up, and it was like a famous Japanese host, I want to say. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it was one of the I forget his name, but he's like one of the most popular, if not the most popular and most sought after host club guy in Japan.
Yeah.
I forget his fucking name. He's done videos with the Trash Taste guys. He if you've Googled famous, like #1 host in Japan, you'll find him.
Yeah, famous dude.
Beautiful looking motherfucker.
Yeah, gorgeous, handsome man. He came up and he the whole time spoke in English. But for the first sentence or two, the translator was still going off in English.
Yeah.
Now most people wouldn't translate. If you're a translator that is hired to translate from Japanese to English, you wouldn't start to translate someone who's speaking in English into English. You would hear it and go, okay, cool. My job's done for now. Sweet. Unless you have a bot that you just flip on and off and you had it on and they go, the award for and you have a script
preloaded in for
that they're reading off a teleprompter, and the bot just starts going and you're like fuck off button. Like again, we're not like trying to be conspiracy theorist level like speculation, but there were a lot of signs that pointed to
clear signs.
This is AI and this is hot garbage.
Yeah. And now I could go into the fucking actual sound design where there were points where they had like a bass line that would just like fucking wave up and down as if it was like being slowed, then sped up, then slowed, then sped up. It's like fucking...
That's the bots infecting the sound system.
Yeah, it's like when you have like the Woody like string toy and the voice box is off. It's just
this is for my oldies out there that are around our age too. It's like if you accidentally like jiggled the VHS player when you had a VHS in, and like the picture didn't change, but the sound kind of warbled. It's that. That's what happened. And you're talking multiple times. It's Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll's producing this. Like this
have Sony backing you. You can get any and all music in the fucking world, and
Sony, Big Papa Sony is here being like, my child, take my money, and you're like,
where are we gonna cut corners?
Yes,
we'll cut them here.
Yeah, we'll cut them everywhere that matters. Sound design, translation, just audio in general was hot garbage. Like the pre-show was so goddamn loud, and then the main show started, and they're like, welcome to the main show. Here in the main show, we're gonna do our... And you're like, what?
Say that again?
Yeah, where are you? Who are you? Like, what's going on? You'd turn it like max volume, and then they would transition. And I love the male host. He would come back and he'd be at 10,000 decibels, going, "Wow, amazing, awesome." Like his voice was great. I loved his voice.
Yeah,
he did like 5 big like English buzzwords, and he was like, fantastic.
The sound design was all over the goddamn place and not in the right spots. But the last thing that I really truly was very disappointed in, and it truly is what killed any and all excitement for me, is that there were 0 announcements. There was nothing. Every year that this award show, I didn't watch last year's award, so I can't speak to it, but every year before that, every time they had an award show, because I think 2020 they just came out with the winners, if I'm not mistaken, or 2021, one of those 2 years they just didn't have an award show. Yeah,
the COVID year, yeah.
But every year that they've had an award show, they had announcements. They're like, hey, this is what's coming to Crunchyroll or Funimation or whatever have you next season, or this is what's coming out in the future. This is a brand new announcement. There were 0 announcements. You have fucking spring 2024 in fucking 3 weeks. 3-4 weeks. You have a brand new season. Disney Hulu has already said what's coming to their platform next season. We expect them to only have 1, maybe 2 shows. They've shown off the 2 shows that they have. Granted, it was a very small announcement, but they still announced what they have. Crunchyroll had this big-ass stage. They had gaps between musical performances and awards that they could have been like, let's check out a brand new trailer for insert show here. And there was absolutely nothing. And it kills me because this is the time where like I get to see a new trailer for a show I may or may not watch in the future. If not for the Crunchyroll Awards, I would have never watched Odd Taxi. I remember watching the Crunchyroll Awards where they showed off a brand new trailer for a brand new IP called Odd Taxi. I was like, okay, what the fuck is this? And it showed just kind of like, it showed a very nondescript trailer, but it still showed intrigue. It kind of gave like a little bit of a tone of what was to come. And I was like, you know what? I can go for a good mystery show. I'm gonna watch it. And it was my favorite show of the year. I miss the days of Crunchyroll Awards where we got some news. Give us some information. Give us what's coming out next season. Hell, give us what's coming out down the line. I don't care if it's a year or 2 out. I'm excited for these announcements. Give me another, Don to Don type announcement or what have you. Granted, it's supposed to happen at whatever Anime Con in Japan. But like, give us Japan fucking ReZero Season 3.
Oh yeah, me too.
Give us that announcement. But the trailer's already leaked. We already know it's happening.
But Frank,
just give it to us.
Tisk tisk poo poo to you, sir. There was stuff in between awards. It was 37 versions of the Bandai Namco commercial that they kept showing over and over again. I
forgot about that. I blocked that out of my goddamn mind because it was so awful.
The trauma returns.
The transitions from awards to the musical performances, they would show like a 1.5 like trailers or commercials for Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
For Gunpla, which granted, I do like a good Gunpla, but like,
and anime figures and like at home VR games.
Trailer.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, you have a brand new season coming out in 4 weeks. And you haven't even, you've given us maybe 1 or 2 shows that's actually coming to Crunchyroll. This is where you announced this is our lineup for next season. Do you know how fucking stacked next season is?
No,
it is insane. You have fucking...
Wait, did we do it? No, we haven't done our preview yet. Calm down. We're doing a preview.
We will do our preview next week, but Jesus Christ, next season is fucking stacked. We do know that Demon Slayer is coming next season, but it's just
we do know that too.
For fuck's sake.
So this will be my final point, and because I do agree with you in this regard, which is I would really appreciate it if we had. Because we have all these different anime conventions, and it's wonderful. We get announcements at different anime conventions, big ones being Japan Anime. We have a lot of like the Fan Expo style anime cons in the United States as well, where we do get announcements sprinkled here and there. To your point, though, I do wish there was a more consolidated approach to how certain anime get announced. Or like have their first ever trailer. And it would be fun to have that at the Crunchyroll Awards. Like,
you have it at the fucking Game Awards. You have it at the Academy Awards. You have it like everywhere. That was the one page out of Hollywood you didn't fucking take.
It's true.
You had it before. You've done it before. I'm sounding like goddamn the guy from fucking the Princess Bride. Inconceivable. Just give it to us. You have given it to us in the past. Give it to us now. We love that part of the show.
Yeah, no, that I completely agree with. Because it does feel
mind-boggling.
It feels also really sour when you find out an anime is announced or it has its first trailer just through like Twitter. You're like, oh,
that's how most of them are nowadays.
But that's what I mean. It's so sad and lax. Like it's very lazy. We'll say it's very nonchalant about it. I like having certain anime just have the pomp and circumstance of like, here you go, we're doing it at the award shows. It's big anime announcement here. Here's your sneak peek, and it doesn't have to be a full trailer. It could just be like 30 seconds of something. I don't care. But that is something that they really missed out on, and it's another piece of the production that I feel like they dropped the ball because God knows, go to livechart.me right now and just look at the next 2 seasons alone. And like just the amount of anime that's coming out over the next 6 months is absolutely insane.
I'll even go with fall. Fall, you can
go all the way. You can go spring. You can go basically the rest of the year, and you'll be shocked at how much is already announced and yet to be announced too. Because mind you, we're getting new seasons of anime. What feels like every other week get announced. Like that's how much anime comes out nowadays. It is crazy. And to think,
even if you go to the TBD page of LiveChart, there are still shows that have yet to get a actual proper season. So if you're looking at spring, summer, fall, which fall it doesn't have that many, but it does have a couple heavy hitters by far. There are still a plethora of shows that are on the docket for 2024 that just have not had a season announced.
And if you're wondering what those shows might be, go listen to last week's podcast episode where we go through the entire TBD list.
Correct. But just this year's awards were just beyond frustrating for so many, like just a multitude of reasons. And the Crunchyroll Awards just aren't the same anymore. They've really declined, and something needs to change.
The hope is that there will be people with louder voices than us, industry folk, or just popular content creators, whomever, that will get their voices heard. Maybe a combination of the smaller folks too, just chipping in, and like us, and just the hope is that we see some sort of change. Because the last 3 years have been really depressing from the standpoint of it has just been, are you the most clickbait mainstream anime? Then congrats, here's your baseline 5 awards. You could win up to like 8 or 9, who knows? But you're basically guaranteed 5. Do you deserve them? Probably not, but the jabronis and girldonis out there are just going to get behind you, so you got that going for you.
Make girldonis a thing.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Anyways, thank you all for joining us this week. We know this was kind of a long-winded episode and a bit of a tirade on our part, but we do appreciate it if you've stuck with us so far through our pomp and circumstances. It really is kind of cathartic for us to just come in here and just yell and record and just be upset about the thing we love.
Jumping down from the largest soapbox I've been standing on this whole time.
Both you and me both. There's sometimes where you do have to be legitimately upset, and rightfully so, give criticism where criticism is due. And this is one of those instances.
We do this because we love the medium.
Yeah, like going into the award show,
I was passionate.
I was like, I can't wait to make this video for TikTok as soon as the awards are open. Awards ended, and I was just deflated. I was like, I'm just gonna take the rest of the weekend to just enjoy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah,
and not anything.
It's the equivalent of watching your sports team draft the wrong player. You're like, God damn, I was hoping for X, and then we got Y. Shit, season's out the window. Cool.
Yeah,
but it's the same feeling.
Thank you all for joining us. We do greatly appreciate if you did stick around. Next week, as we have already discussed, we will be going over the spring.
Discussed is strong. prevented yeah.
We may or may not be doing the spring 2024 anime season next week. More than likely we will, but to be determined. So we will be back, but we will be back next week with a brand new episode. So until next time, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then.